It featured a massive rotating dining room powered by water, inside a palace covering 300 urban acres. In this video, I've gathered 7 lost ancient megastructures, saving that remarkable rotating palace for last. We begin in the Mediterranean. This is the Colossus of Rhodes, a towering tribute to the sun god. Standing 108 feet tall, it was exactly the size of the modern Statue of Liberty from heel to crown. Erected in 280 BC by the sculptor Chares, it was funded by selling abandoned enemy siege equipment. The mystery lies in its casting. Scholars still debate how the massive bronze plates were lifted and attached. It stood for only 54 years before a massive earthquake in 226 BC snapped its bronze knees. The ruined giant lay in the dirt for 800 years. Visitors traveled just to hug its massive thumbs. Eventually, passing merchants melted it down. Today, its name gives us the word colossal, though no trace remains. The Colossus was huge, but this next structure wasn't just big. It guided an empire's entire economy. This is the Lighthouse of Alexandria, the ancient world's most brilliant beacon on the Egyptian coast. At roughly 330 feet tall, it rivaled a modern 30-story skyscraper, built from solid blocks of limestone. Constructed around 280 BC under Ptolemy II, it utilized a massive mirror to reflect sunlight by day. Its lost secret is the light source. No one knows exactly how the massive night fires were fueled. The tower survived for well over a millennium, enduring severe coastal weathering and multiple minor tremors. Eventually, 3 massive earthquakes between 956 and 1323 AD completely shattered the immense stone structure. Its submerged ruins were finally discovered in 1994, giving the Romance languages their root word for lighthouse. Alexandria's tower dominated the sea. But this next megastructure supposedly conquered the harsh, arid desert itself.
These are the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, an impossible oasis of lush vegetation built in ancient Iraq.
Reaching an estimated 75 feet high, it covered an area roughly the size of a modern football field. King Nebuchadnezzar II supposedly built it around 600 BC to cure his wife's longing for forested mountains. The unresolved mystery is how it worked. Pumping continuous water up a 75-foot ziggurat defied contemporary physics. Its destruction is entirely undocumented. In fact, no Babylonian records ever mention the gardens at all. Greek historians described it, but modern archaeologists have never found a single brick confirming it existed. Today, it remains the only wonder of the ancient world that might be a complete mythological fabrication. While the gardens may be a myth, Babylon held a very real structure that inspired a legend. This is Etemenanki, a colossal step pyramid dedicated to the Mesopotamian god Marduk in the city's center. Its square base was nearly 300 feet wide, holding a 7-story tower as heavy as an aircraft carrier. Rebuilt by Nebuchadnezzar II in the 6th century BC, it required over 17 million baked bricks. The lost engineering secret is its colored glazing process, yielding brilliant blue bricks that survived the desert sun. Alexander the Great ordered it dismantled in 331 BC for reconstruction, but his sudden death halted the project. The dismantled bricks were eventually stolen by locals, leaving nothing but a damp, square depression in the earth. Today, historians believe this specific, ruined megastructure is the literal origin of the biblical Tower of Babel story. Etemenanki reached for the sky. But this next megastructure sprawled outward, confusing everyone who entered it.
This is the Labyrinth of Hawara, a massive Egyptian mortuary temple built alongside the pyramid of Amenemhat III.
Measuring roughly 1,000 by 800 feet, it was large enough to comfortably enclose 6 modern soccer pitches. Constructed around 1800 BC, it contained 3,000 separate rooms connected by a blinding network of winding corridors. The unresolved mystery is its roof. Early historians claimed the entire colossal expanse was roofed in massive stone. Roman authors marveled at it, but over millennia, the local population quarried the limestone for their own towns. By the Roman era, the roof had collapsed, and the walls were systematically chipped away for raw material. Today, only a flat bed of foundation sand remains, yet its confusing layout gave us the word labyrinth. The labyrinth vanished into sand. This next structure, built 2,000 years later, vanished in a flash of fire. This is the Porcelain Tower of Nanjing, a glittering medieval monument dominating the Chinese skyline. Rising 260 feet into the air, it stood as tall as a modern 20-story residential high-rise.
Commissioned by the Yongle Emperor in 1412, it was built entirely from gleaming, kiln-fired white porcelain bricks.
Its lost engineering secret was its mortar. The porcelain blocks were supposedly fused using a mixture of sticky rice.
It survived countless storms until the 1850s, when the Taiping Rebellion brought fierce warfare to the city.
Rebel forces systematically blew up the tower with gunpowder to prevent enemies from using it as an observation post. Today, a modern steel replica stands in its place, but the original medieval porcelain marvel is completely gone. Which brings us back to our final megastructure, a monument to excess that overshadowed even a porcelain tower. This is the Domus Aurea, Emperor Nero's Golden House, an opulent party palace built in the heart of Rome.
Covering roughly 300 acres, the estate was 3 times larger than Vatican City, featuring its own private lake.
Constructed after the Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD, it featured rooms coated entirely in gold leaf. Its lost engineering secret is the dining room. Architects still debate how water pressure powered its rotating wooden ceiling. Following Nero's suicide, subsequent emperors were deeply embarrassed by the sheer scale of his stolen public land.
They stripped the marble, filled the rooms with dirt, and built the famous Roman Colosseum right over the lake.
Nero's palace vanished beneath Rome. Ironically, being buried in dirt perfectly preserved its painted ceilings for modern archaeologists.